right? We're going to do all those things, so we're going to need guys to move in each direction without tipping in their stance. Okay, so we just do this drill. This is the only drill I'm going to show you where we don't do this every day of the year round, okay, for seasons upon seasons. This drill is beginning of camp, beginning of spring ball. We want to go out and we want to make sure we're lined up in a proper stance and we're running off the football. Okay, this line you're going to see is just a guide for our first two steps. This is simply a warm-up drill, okay, that we use from time to time. So we got, the starting five up here right now. Basically all we're looking for is a nice balanced stance. This is a good look at everybody's base. Okay, we don't want that super wide base. We got guys just with their knees barely outside their shoulders. You can see all their weight, right, is on the insides of their feet with their knees flexed slightly in, okay? All five guys pretty similar there. We'll get a look at it from the side, right? But you can see them all just looking to kind of run off the ball right here. Everybody's doing a pretty nice job of putting their second step right on this blue line, except for the center. He's on his own program. That's not what we're looking for. Okay, we're just kind of getting the feeling for coming in and out of this stance. Coming back, here's the next group. Here's a look at it from the side, from the ground level. This is the exact same rep we just watched. All right, now look, could these guys be lower? Yeah, sure, they could be lower, but this drill is not really about pad level. It's just about getting into a stance and coming out of it. So you can see right here, right? Weights balanced on all 3 points of his stance. Nice flat back. His eyes are up and open, right? And we always talk about the offhand just resting right there on our thigh board. Okay, you can't see these guys. They're in a right-handed stance. He's in a left-handed stance. But we just want to rest that offhand, okay, that forearm right on our thigh board, and we're nice and relaxed, okay? You can see a minimal stagger right there, toe to instep. That's what we're looking for. Toes in, toes out, heels in, heels out. I'm not real worried about all that, okay, but I am worried about this knee flexion, and this is pretty good, okay, by all these guys. Slight flexion inside out. A nice flat back, eyes are up and open, offhand, forearm just resting on the thigh board. Okay, this is really pretty good. Well, now I just told you there's no aiming point. The ball has no direction here. We're just working the absolute fundamentals of blocking. Okay, so right here, this is a dry block. How do you know which pad is the backside pad? Right, well, it's real simple in this drill. If you're in a right-handed stance, it's your right pad. If you're in a left-handed stance, it's your left pad. Okay, it's your stagger foot pad, because all we're practicing right here is bringing your backside pad and knee now when the ball is snapped. There is no first step. Again, this drill doesn't happen on the field, right? So why do we do it? Okay, well, it's really simple, right? This is what I was told a long time ago by a really smart guy. If your drills aren't showing up on your game tape, okay, then you're doing the wrong drills. You're doing the wrong drills. Now, this drill will show up on every single snap we have in the run game any year you look at our tape, or better, right? Even though we're not necessarily practicing a certain block. Because what we're practicing right here is the basic fundamentals of blocking. Everything we just talked about on that car, okay? That's what we're practicing right here. But we're doing it, right, without an aiming point, without any variables added. This is the easiest drill we should do. That's why it's the first drill in the progression. And then we'll add the difficulty as we go here. So here, okay, we've got this line running, basically perpendicular to the drill. And this is going to allow us to see how much ground these guys are gaining with their backside knee. Okay, now we got this line that's running parallel to the drill. And as you see here, we've got these defenders in a head-up alignment splitting that line with their crotch. Because I want to see the knee and the crotch. So if they're splitting the line with their crotch, then we ought to see these guys' knees coming right up that line. All right, so pad in the chin, knee in the crotch. Okay, we should be running right up this blue line with our elbows in. Bringing his right knee and his right pad right now. Okay, bringing his left knee and his left pad right now. We could do without this wind-up. This isn't bad. Let's skip to a shot. Now we got pads on. All right, same drill. You can see left-handed stance, left pad, left knee right now. Elbows in, hands low, running right through his crotch. Same thing here. Center's had to pick a side. He's picking his right side. Wish he didn't lead with that hand so much. First thing, he should be making contact is the top of that pad. Right in his chin. Okay, knee in the crotch. Here it is from the side. Same kid now without the ball, going from a right-handed stance. Right pad, right knee. You can see how much ground he's gaining. trying to attack the defender. Everything we do, we want to be on the attack. We want to take a defensive mentality to an offensive football play. We're going to attack when we block. Okay, you're not going to see a big wide base. You're not going to see duck walking. You're not going to see any of those things. We don't believe in it. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just telling you, we believe in attacking. Okay, and the only way to attack is to run off the football. Right? Now, do we ever actually line up and drive block someone? No, absolutely not. Okay, tight reach is what we use on an inside zone. A lot of people call this a base block. All right, this is just a tight reach block to us. Okay, so now what you're going to see here is we're adding a variable to that drive block. Okay, now we have to get to the block. But everything we just practiced should show up again in this drill. It's just going to now take 2 steps to get there. All right, so now we're at an aiming point, play side number. We're moving the defender. We want crotch to foot. Okay, crotch to foot. All right, so now what we're going to do here is you'll see this alignment. And we have shields on. Let me get rid of these shields here. Let me point this out before I do. Okay, you can see both these guys are going to the left. All we're going to do, all right, we're going to take our eyes, we're going to put them on that play side number. Okay, to do that, we're going to have to step. Again, this first step has not been coached for either of these guys. They're just going up and down because all they're doing is making room for their second step. Okay, we move them off the line. That way the defender didn't move. His crotch is still on the line. That offensive player has just offset the line one way or the other. He's got his foot on the line. Now he's going to step. He still wants to take his backside knee, put in his crotch. He still wants to put his chin, his pad in the defender's chin. He still wants his elbow in line, but he's got to step to get there right now. So we've used this play side number aiming point. The first step happens. Okay, after this first step happens, all of this should look like drive drill, drive block. Okay. Same thing right here. Now we're going to the right. Left knee, left pad. Left knee's on the line, still gaining ground. Pad in the chin. Same thing on the right side right here. 78. Nice job by both guys. Okay. Wide reach. Now we're aiming points to play side armpit. Okay. We've moved the defender out. So he's now foot to foot or wider possibly, depending on the drill. Okay. But we're going a little bit wider now. So now we're going wider. Right? And as we get out there and we get a little bit wider, our first step's going to have to get a little bit bigger naturally. Okay, but we're still trying to get there on that second step. Right? So we use this on slant plays. You're going to see all our guys cross over. Every single one of them is going to cross over. You're going to see it over and over and over again. Okay, what we're asking them to do on this drill, it's impossible to do without crossing over. Don't care about that. Okay, and I've been to a lot of clinics where somebody gets up there and they stand there and they stand like this. I agree with that. And now if you're on the edge of it, is this. Every one of these guys that you see doing this drill has backside help. We don't run this play and ask guys to execute this block without backside help. Because we're putting them out on an island, we're putting them out in space where they literally have no chance to redirect and win on true man blocks. That tight reach you just saw, we would ask a guy to redirect and win on a man block. Okay, but right here, it ain't gonna happen. We stretch that aiming point out too wide. It's past the point of no return. There's no coming back on this one, right? Which is okay because every guy here has inside help coming to his hip, right? That would push him through should we get any movement. So now we're asking these guys to go attack that play side armpit. And here they come. They're headed out there. Okay, you can see 61, he's a young guy. He needs to take a bigger first step. All right, so this is probably his first day at practice, actually. This is definitely early camp. 54 is a fifth-year senior, non-athlete, but smart guy. You can see his first step versus 61's. Okay, 61's not allowing himself to get on his aiming point. 54's taking a nice big first step. He's putting his eyes out here on the armpit. But you can see once his backside pad, knee, and elbow come, right, he's just in drive block now. So whether it's tight reach or wide reach, we're just trying to get back to drive block. Okay, so here it comes, hauling ass, running. But once he gets there, it's backside pad, knee, and elbow right through that chin. A couple shots to the left. Let's get some with pads on. Here we go. Now we're in the 4-point stance. This is a nice job by 78. 52, okay, needs to get square to his target. All right, so he's on his aiming point, his pads in the chin, his knees in the crotch. But you can see right here, okay, his target is square and he's turned. 78 square to his target, 52 isn't. This is a pretty nice job by 78. Okay, but again, just look at their first steps. You can see how big these are. They're getting wide. And I don't know, is it a drop step, a bucket step? I just know it's a lot different than a tight reach step. And we don't spend a lot of time coaching it. Because now they got to make room for that backside pad and knee. They got to get their eyes all the way to that armpit, and they got to make room for that backside pad, knee, and elbow to come through this thing. It's a pretty nice job by 59. I don't love his arms. All right, we got to continue to work on this. We want to eliminate a windup. We don't want to do that because we're real big right into horizontal leverage. We talked about at the beginning. I know this. The minute I do this and open my arms up, okay, I'm exposing my chest and I'm giving up that horizontal leverage. Okay, so not only am I giving up that horizontal leverage, but I'm giving that guy a chance to separate right now. And remember, everything I talked about, where we want to eliminate separation. Chest on chest, bringing our knees up underneath us, running through contact. Okay, even right here. Close that thing down. You want to suffocate this guy. Get your pads right up on his pads. Aggression, drive, tight, wide. Okay, then we finish with blade. So we have drive block, which is the basic fundamentals of a block. Okay, pad, in chin, elbows in, vertical and horizontal leverage, eliminate separation, bringing our pads, or bringing our knees with us and running. Okay, and then we go ahead and we add difficulty. We go to a tight reach, play side number aiming point, right? Up and down fast, backside pad and knee coming, get into drive block. Wide reach, okay, the most difficult of the progression. Really widen that aiming point out. Now we got to run. We got to take a nice big first step. Okay, we really got to go with that second step. And we got to get stretched out a little bit. Then we go to blade drill. Okay, and all blade drill is 2 drive blocks. All right, so it's 2 is better than 1. It's real simple. So now each blocker takes half a man. Okay, so we both have our pad under the defender's chin, our inside pad. Okay, both knees are in the defender's crotch, our inside knee. So now we have 2 backside knees. Right? Okay, and it stands to reason both elbows are going to be in line with those pads and knees. Okay, our outside arm is free. Okay, our eyes are up and our pads are square to our target, that down guy. Okay, we want our eyes up and we want our outside arm free. Our outside arm is free because I know this. The minute that these guys start putting their outside arm onto the defender, their pads turn. And the minute my pads turn, 2 things happen. There's a chance I'm going to start working against my buddy. Okay, but even worse than that, I'm never going to be able to get off on a second level player. If my pads are turned, I'm never going to be able to get off and block a linebacker. So we want to keep our pads square. And then we stay foot to foot, hip to hip, shoulder to shoulder. No seams. We close that zipper up between 2 guys. And the only thing left to do is run. That's it. So if we don't have pads, we fit it up. We just get in a fitted position, both pads in the chin, okay, both knees in the crotch, nice and tight, hip to hip, outside arm free running. And then if we have pads on, we go from a stance where both guys have their inside foot back and they're coming right to the double. You'll see that here in a second. We do this drill every day. All right, so here it is without pads. We're in a fitted blade. Okay, both guys got their inside foot back. Right, we're hip to hip. We got 2 pads in the chin, 2 knees in the crotch. Still have the defender right on this blue line. We're going to keep our outside arms free and just run through the drill. It's not a bad look at it. Here you get a ground level perspective. You can see how low their pads are. Also, we have pads on here. So now we're going from a 3-point stance. You can see both guys stepping to the block with their inside foot. Both guys have their inside hand down, their inside foot back. 2 pads in the chin, 2 knees in the crotch, right down that blue line, hip to hip, zipped up nice and tight, outside arms free, just running through it. Okay, we don't even put a backer in this drill because we don't want to pollute the drill. Right? Just like blade drill, we are only practicing, okay, the basic fundamentals of a double team. We're not practicing a scoop block here or a tray. Right? We're not practicing an inside zone double team or a power double team. We're practicing all of them. Because at the end of the day, whether we're running an outside zone play and getting to a double, right, or whether we're on the front side of power working a vertical double to the back side, they're all going to end up looking like this. The only thing that will change is how we get there, how we get to those blocks. Okay. Don't love this with our outside arm here. We're looking a little bit crazy. Both guys, we'd like this thing to be relaxed and natural and fluid and just swinging. All right, so how do we teach this stuff? Okay, well, here's how we do it. We have two main progressions, and then we set. We have the mirror progression, what we call the mirror progression, mirror dodge. All right, it starts with long mirror, okay? This is what this drill's about. Wide knee, it drills your posture and your feet. Okay, we're not even to the set yet. We're just working on the posture and the feet right here. Coaching points, we're on wide base, knees flexed in, weight inside out, pushing to move. Slide with both feet in the ground, head out, shoulders back. Hands ready to punch, upper body relaxed. Okay, you can't move with your lower body if you're tense in your upper body. We want a nice relaxed upper body, good posture, and moving. So you can see these cones. These cones are about 18 yards apart. And it is exactly what it sounds like. It's a long mirror. So we're looking for our weight down, okay, our ass down, our eyes are up, shoulders back, head out. Sliding, pushing to move, keeping that base, keeping those feet in the ground, just like this. Okay, coming back the other way. Nice and easy, sliding. Sink that ass, shoulders back, head out. Weights on the insides of our feet, pushing to move. Keeping our base through the whole drill. Nice and long. Okay, this is the easiest version of mirror that we have. All one direction, nice and easy, shoulders back, head out, pushing to move, keep those feet in the ground. Relax your upper body. Slide nice and easy. Okay, now coming back the other way. Okay, so guy goes down back and his buddy goes. But our shoulders are back, our head's out, we're just sliding. What are the best drills in football, period? I would say mirror dodge. You know, and if we were doing it with skill guys, we'd do it with the running backs. Actually, we'll score with the running backs because they pass protect same way an offensive lineman pass protects. But if we're just doing it with DBs or receivers, we wouldn't score. We would just actually have them run, and it's truly mirror dodge to me. Okay, that's a drill we do with our whole football team, and we do in the off season. Okay, best drill in football, mirror dodge, because it's training your eyes and your feet, and you're playing the whole drill in an athletic football position. Right, very different than what we're asking our offensive linemen to do from a posture standpoint for other players. But it's a football drill. It teaches you football. Okay, for an offensive lineman, the single best mirror drill we do is this drill called concrete mirror. Okay, concrete mirror is pass protection. That's what it is. We're practicing pass protection. It's a push-pull drill. Drills posture, separation, and it's about maintaining that leverage, maintenance of the leverage. So coming back to the leverage we talked about in the run game, vertical leverage. Okay, we're not talking about pad under chin in the run game. We're not talking about pad under chin anymore. Pad under chin will put you in a bad spot in protection. Okay, we want our hands low and our butt down. That's how we get vertical leverage. Our hands are lower than the defender's hands. And horizontal leverage is the same. Elbows in, hands low. Elbows in, hands in. Okay, we want to be inside out. Up and down now becomes about having our hands lower than that, guys, and having our ass down, and inside out doesn't change. Got to maintain separation, head and shoulders out. We want to fight pressure with pressure. Okay, if the defender pushes me, I push back. Coach, how do you stop a bull rush? All right, I get that question all the time. Everybody gets that question. Nobody has great answers. Here's what I know. You have to meet force with force. Okay, if a defender pushes you, bulls you, then you need to push back. Okay, now the trick is you got to maintain separation and you got to maintain your posture while you do that. If he pulls you, you need to pull back. Okay, he's pulling, I'm pulling. He's going to my right. Okay, I'm winning with my right knee. He's going to my left, I'm winning with my left knee. He's trying to go through me, I'm pushing back on him. He's trying to pull me, I'm pulling back on him. Pressure with pressure, okay? And the defenders, this drill, like all of our drills, this is about the defender. He's got to make the offensive guy work. Okay, so here's concrete mirror. So we've tightened these cones down, you know, somewhere around 4 yards. It's not important. Okay, but what is important is just tightening the drill space down a little bit here. Okay, and now you're going to see this. When the drill starts, our defender is going to start attacking this guy. He's pushing him. He's pulling him. He's working him laterally, cone to cone. This drill is not so much about the lateral as much as really the push-pull. That's why you tighten it down. Okay, that's a pretty good look at the defender. And you can see right here, he's pushing on Cole right now, 64. He's pushing on 64. 64 is pushing back on him right there. You can see him actually lower his hips, but he keeps his head and shoulders out. He's maintaining that separation, and he's pushing back, okay? Now he's pulling on him. 64 is pulling back, but he's got his head out, Okay, he's got his elbows in, his hands low. So he's got good leverage on this guy, and now it's just about pushing or pulling, okay, or winning with your knee. The other part, I see this a lot of times. People work these drills where they replace hands, okay, and they do all these fancy hand fighting drills. We don't. We just think it happens real naturally in this drill, okay. I told him he needs to have his hands low, okay. He needs to get his elbows in, and he needs to have his head and shoulders out, right? So if he's going to do that, then very naturally, he's going to replace his hands every time they get knocked off, every time this guy spins, every time he feels them in a bad spot. He's just going to get them back to where they're supposed to be. Okay, so here's another shot of it. Push and push back, pull, pull back. Another shot. 69 could have his hands a little bit lower. Okay. Don't give up all this ground. He's pushing, you got to push back. You got to push back. It would start with having your hands a little bit lower.